So you want to be a Minuteman. How are you going to do it? What kind of equipment do you need? What is the mindset that it takes? Well, there's actually a manual that shows you how to do it, and we are going to review it today. Stick around. Welcome back to the channel. Prepared Wanderer in the Man Cave today, and I wanted to share with you some resource materials that will help you get started on your journey to becoming a better prepared citizen. And it's actually a book and some other books that go along with it that is written by a buddy of mine, Jay Pallardi. Now, Jay he's a local guy, local to my state, and he was someone that I had been following on a online forum for a while, and his posts were always so informative and detailed, and he was always talking about how he was out in the woods practicing these skills of being a modern Minuteman, and that's actually his YouTube channel, The Modern Minuteman. So definitely go to that, check it out, subscribe, because it is full of great information. But what really kind of drew me to his posts and to his YouTube channel is that he was actually out just not talking about this stuff, but he's actually out doing it. And he does it all the time. He is always practicing these scenarios and ways of being a better prepared citizen. Now, before we get into the resource material and we start talking about his latest book and about the Professional Citizen Project, who is the publisher of this book, I want to briefly discuss what it means to be a modern Minuteman, because I think there is, of course, a lot of confusion, a lot of misinformation, and of course there's a lot of bad apples that have kind of spoiled it for a lot of other people. Now, you go back not that long ago, a few years ago, Minuteman groups were getting a really bad rap because there were some that were involved in domestic terrorist plots to, kill government officials and wreak havoc on the population. And I want to say right now, this is the disclaimer. So pause, play, listen to it, pause, replay. I want to be perfectly clear. We are not talking about that in this video or in these books or in this scenario. This is not what this is all about. The Modern Minuteman has nothing to do with overthrowing your government, committing crimes, being anti-police, being racist. It's none of that stuff. It has nothing to do with that. What it boils down to, it is taking the philosophy and the history of how this country was started and how, those early pioneers came to this country and they had to help each other, help their neighbor. They had to be ready. Men back then, and even the women, had to be ready with their rifle, with their tomahawk, with their knife. They had to be able to go out and protect their families. Eventually, it became a way of forming these militias, these groups that could band together and fight against the British, and that's how we won our independence. So there's a whole history behind this, and a Minuteman in the modern sense is just like that. Is skill sets and preparations very seriously. You practice them. You're ready at the moment's notice that when something happens, you are able to protect your family, protect your property, and survive. And that's what it's all about. So this is really just an arm of the preparedness movement. If you are a homesteader, this is super important because you have a very large piece of property and you need to patrol it. You need to know who is on your property, who is coming onto your property, because maybe they are coming to do harm to your family, to steal from you. And this could be in moments of civil unrest, of political upheaval, of natural disaster. With these back-to-back hurricanes, there are these predators that are coming into these communities and looting and stealing, and as a prepared citizen, you need to be ready for that scenario. Well, what does that mean? Maybe it's just a handgun on your side, and that's it. Maybe you take it to the next level, and you have a rifle, and you have body armor, and you have a backpack full of gear, and you're out patrolling your property to make sure that everything is safe and good and keeping these bad guys out, because this is what it's all about. It is good versus evil, and that's all I'm going to say about it. So let's get into the book. So this is the book we're going to talk about. This is the Citizen Manual, number 8, The Modern Minuteman, and written by my buddy Jay. Now, not that long ago, he wrote another book, which I did a review on and talked about in several videos of mine. He did the Citizen Manual number 9, Adverse Conditions and Environments. So this was more of what I would consider a survival guide. It really talks about how to be comfortable in the woods, what kind of equipment you need, mindset, all that kind of stuff. This book really is interesting because it goes into so many different subjects, but it starts with the history of the Minuteman, and it explores that. It talks about it briefly and gives you kind of a history, and then it goes into all the basics that it takes for you to become more successful at becoming a Minuteman, a modern Minuteman, and that's equipment. It's there's tactics. There are just a lot of different things, and we're going to go over this stuff. Okay, so a rundown of what you're going to be learning in this book. So we have who are the Minuteman. This is early beginnings, why they were important, talking about the Sons of Liberty, community, and equipment of the day. So it's a historical perspective. Then it goes into philosophy, and I think that's really important because that's kind of what I was talking about in the first part of this video is why are we doing this? Well, because it's an uncertain world. It talks about family, community, what's the mission, and how you are becoming the quiet professional. And then we go into equipment, which is super important. I think most people are very interested in that. You know, they want to know about the gear that they need, what kind of rifle, what kind of plate carrier, chest rig, butt pack, all these different kinds of things. What do I need to do this kind of stuff? So he goes into this kit baseline, chest rigs, battle belts, LBEs, plate carriers, backpacks, and then even into shelter and sleep systems. So super important stuff. There's backpacks, and then even into shelter and sleep systems. So super important stuff. This is not only just fighting equipment, but this is fieldcraft, and fieldcraft is those skills that we utilize to thrive out in the woods. Then he talks about, of course, the weaponry. So we have general purpose rifles, pistols, edge tools, and then we go into more fieldcraft stuff, camouflage, judging distances, obstacle crossings, patrolling, and then this kind of a wrap up where we're putting it all together and talking about the mission. And then there's checklists, there's diagrams, there's forms. It is a very packed book full of information. It does have photographs, illustrations, and all this stuff. And there's Jay right there. All this stuff is coming from Jay and his experience of doing all this stuff on a regular basis.
So we're in an area where there's something that doesn't belong in this area.
Right.
Okay. So, and these are things that we're looking for. We're looking for these visual indicators of activity. Mm-hmm. So there is something in the general vicinity that does not belong here.
Okay.
The point is to be able to identify it.
Right.
You know, you wouldn't necessarily know that there's
right.
something here, but this is part of that scanning.
Yeah.
You know, looking, and when you're scanning, obviously you have your immediates, your medium, and your far away.
So a lot of guys are going to come in and they're going to, look at this video and look at videos like this, and they're going to make comments, well, this is just LARPing. It's pretend. The Jay is not a military guy. He has no military experience. I have not been a part of the military either, so I don't have that experience. And I think there are a ton of citizens out there who are just like us, who just because we did not participate in the military, didn't join it, that wasn't our path at that time, does not mean that we do not have a right or the ability to learn some of these skills and to utilize them and apply them to help ourselves and help our family and help our community. And that's what this is all about. So this book covers all this stuff. I mean, look at this thing. It's very clear photographs and diagrams and illustrations. Let me show you some of these forms that are in the back. So, the spot report salute, that's something that a lot of people may not understand. That's a military kind of thing, but it's presented in a way and how to use that and what that means. Situation report or the set rip report, that's in here. There's even a glossary of terminology in the back of the book that's going to explain some of the stuff that maybe you hear all the time on other YouTube channels, or maybe you see in movies. Maybe your military buddies use this stuff and you don't quite understand it. What is OP4? These things are all explained in here. Very easy to understand. And currently there are 9 manuals in the Professional Citizen Project. So Manual 1 or CM1 is the Individual Tactical Skills by Jack Morris. CM2, Reconnaissance by Jack Morris. CM3 is the AR Pattern Rifle and Carbine by Mike Lewis. Then we have CM4, which is Teenage Prepper by Cody Morris and Jack Morris. CM5 is Land Navigation by Jack Morris, which I've heard is an excellent land nav book, and I need to pick one up because I want to check that out. CM8, The Modern Minuteman by Jay. So we just talked about this. And then, of course, CM9, which was Jay's last book, which is The Adverse Environments and Conditions, or ACE. That is that kind of field guide, survival guide. So, a fantastic series of books by patriotic Americans who just want to help inform the public and give you guys, men and women, families, a better foothold on what all this stuff means and have something as a reference guide. And then one thing I wanted to add about this book, I was kind of blown away by this. I wasn't expecting this, but Jay went through at the end of his book, and he did some acknowledgments. And of course, he's thanking his wife and his family and some other, supportive friends. And this kind of took me back because I wasn't expecting this. And when he told me that he did it, I was like, oh, okay. So in the text here, he says, to the numerous guys in the industry, including Risky Krisky, Randall Gillespie, Grunt Proof, Wendell Adams, The Prepared Wanderer, that's me, PNW Minuteman, Craig Pruitt, Chad Edgar, and many others have allowed us to use their pictures and given us their full support. So he thanks other people who are in this, I don't know, I want to call it an industry because it's not an industry, in this movement. He took time to thank those people, and he included me. So, Jay, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. That meant a lot to me. It was very nice of you and kind of you to do that. You didn't have to do that. And as always, I always thank you for taking the time to share this information and knowledge with us, just the common people who want to learn it. You have helped me on my journey for sure, and definitely helped me get my mind right and with mindset and how to think about having things ready and be prepared for these unknown scenarios. So these manuals are running about $22.95 on the Professional Citizen Project website. I will have links to all the manuals, to the web store, down below in the description. I will also have links to get these on Amazon. These books are actually on Amazon, so they'll be in my Amazon store, all of them, and you can check them out there. Do me a favor, please subscribe to Jay's channel, The Modern Minuteman. So much great information on there. And then if you like this content, do me a favor, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about these books, and let me know maybe what kind of videos you would like to see in the future. Now, Jay and I are going to be getting together here hopefully soon and shooting some more video together, and he's going to be showing me some of the stuff that he does for property patrolling and setting up some scenarios. Always learn stuff from him. So be looking forward to those videos. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Prepared Wanderer.